Warm greetings to all the new entrants of our department, that is Electronics and Communication Engineering Department. Welcome to the course on Digital Circuit Design. Digital circuit design basically deals with the binary symbols 0 and 1. 0 and 1. That is, here digitally we represent the symbols, symbol 0 and symbol 1. So, the digital circuit design is a course title and its course code is 18U 301. It has a contact hours of 39 hours. It is a 3 credit course. Every week we conduct 3-hour classes on this particular course, digital circuit design. Digital circuit design, previously it was known as logic design. So it has been renamed because we design a digital circuit based on the truth table, based on the boolean expressions, and lastly we draw logic network, that is hardware implementation of digital circuits. Okay, so upon this, myself Preeti Ballarimat will be handling this particular course, digital circuit design, for this current semester. Once again, a warm welcome to all of you. So I'll continue with this session. So, course grading. So, here I'll be talking about the course grading. There are three internal assessments. Each assessment is of 20 marks, that is, each test will be of 20 marks. Three tests will be conducting. Out of that, two best will be considering the two best IAs. Whichever you score two best marks, that will be considered and taken for the counting. So, and we have end semester exam. We all know that that is for 100 marks, and you all know that it is a CTA, course teacher assessment will be there, teacher's assessment of 10 marks. It may be containing a quiz, assignment, or a lecture or a PPT, whatever, depending on the course instructor. So this is about the course grading of my subject. Next, coming to the course learning objectives, CLOs. This course particularly focuses on study of various simplification techniques of Boolean expressions and designing of optimized combinational circuits and sequential circuit. It also focuses on application of digital circuits. So combinational circuits and sequential circuits, will be studying about it in detail in further classes. So basically what you have to understand in this is, we have two symbols 0 and 1, and that only will be using in the further classes. Using the 0 and 1, we'll try to write the truth table first and then try to write the boolean expressions depending on the truth table, and then get a logic network, the network which consists of gates. Next, coming to the course outcomes. So at the end of the course, what the student will be able to understand. So there are 5 course outcomes. The first course outcome is apply various techniques to simplify boolean expressions. So now the question comes, why do we reduce the boolean expression? We try to take the common terms out and then try to reduce the expression, because the hardware implementation what we will be doing will be reduced, and the performance of the system will also improve in the sense the execution time required for the network will be less, and hence the performance of the circuit will be improved. So next, coming to the CO2, design combinational circuits by MSI components at a medium scale, yeah, integrated components. The combinational circuits can be designed by using, like multiplexer, demultiplexer, decoder, encoders. So these are all belong to medium scale integrated circuits or components. Next, coming to the CO3, analyze and design combinational circuits using PLDs, that is programmable logic devices. So next, in PLDs we have different types of logic devices, PAL, then PLA, all those things. Those stuff we'll be studying in the next coming chapters. Okay, so next coming to the course outcome 4, we'll be trying to realize some flip flops, flip flops and its applications. We all know that flip flops can be used for the as a application as a counters. All right, so counter we can use in turn, it which can be used for the clock. Okay, so these all flip flops and designing of flip flops, master slave flip flops, all those things we'll be studying in the flip flop coming chapter. Next, coming to the CO5, design of synchronous sequential network. One thing what I want to tell here is synchronous means at the same instant of time we try to have the output. And sequential network, what I would like to tell on this is it contains a feedback and it contains a memory element. It contains a memory element. Next slide I'll be talking about the syllabus. So what does the syllabus have and the content of the syllabus. So in this unit 1, what we'll be studying is boolean algebra. In this boolean algebra we have canonical forms, prime implicants and irredundant disjunctive expressions, prime implicates and irredundant conjunctive expressions, simplification of boolean expressions, that is Carnot maps, Queen-McCliskey, map entered variable, Carnot map techniques. So these are all few techniques where we try to reduce the boolean expression. Maybe if a 4-bit boolean expression is there, we try to reduce it for 3-bit boolean expression. For example, we have PQRS, we'll try to have only in the terms of PQR. So these are various methods where we try to reduce the expression. In turn, we are trying to reduce the hardware. So next, coming to the unit 2, logic design with MSI components. I have already told this MSI component, medium scale integrated components. So in this particular chapter we'll be studying about the MSI components, that is binary adders and subtractors, decimal adders, comparators, encoders, decoders, and then multiplexer, demultiplexers, design of combinational circuits using decoders and multiplexers. So in the second chapter we'll be trying to study about the medium scale integrated components. Okay children, next unit 3, programmable logic devices. This I had told you, it also includes particular CO, that is course outcome. Basically we will be talking here is introduction, then programmable read only memory, that is PROM, where we can only read, we cannot write, programmable logic array, programmable array logic, gate performance considerations, transistors, that is TTL, and wired logic. So this is of 7 hours, that is the unit 3. So we'll be studying about the PLDs in this particular unit. Next, coming to this unit 4, flip-flops and its applications, that is latches, SR flip-flop, JK flip-flop. Basically in this first chapter I'll be talking, basic question is what is the difference between latch and a flip-flop. So that we'll be studying. And latches, different type of latches will be studying, different types of flip-flops will be studying. Okay, SR flip-flop, set reset flip-flop, JK flip-flop, T and D flip-flop, master slave flip-flops, H triggered flip-flops, registers, counters. Then in type of counters there are again two types, asynchronous counters and synchronous type of counters. Okay, we have mod counters, up down counters, the counters which count in a upward fashion and the counters which count in a downward fashion, and self correcting counters. Self correcting counters, they correct their error by itself. Okay, so the self correcting counters. The last chapter, that is unit 5, synchronous sequential network, that is structure and operation of clocked synchronous sequential network, analysis of synchronous sequential network, serial binary adder as a Mealy on Moore network, and a sequence recognizer. So these are the 5 chapters we have. Once again I'll tell you, these are the 5 chapters. Unit 1 is Boolean algebra. Unit 2 is logic design with MSI components. Unit 3 is programmable logic devices. Unit 4 is flip-flops and its applications. Unit 5 is synchronous sequential network. This is what all I want to tell about the syllabus. Next, coming to the reference textbook. Which textbooks you all have to refer, students? It is listed here. It is listed. There are 4 textbooks we have listed. You can go through any of the textbook. These are the reference textbook. It is not restricted to study only one textbook. Wherever, whichever concept you feel easier, that textbook can be referred. So Donald Gibbon, Digital Principles and Design, that is a Tata McGraw edition 2002. Next, John M. Yarburg, Digital Logic Applications and Design 2001 edition. Charles Roth, that is Fundamentals of Logic Design 2004 printed edition. Mono and Kim, Logic and Computer Design Fundamentals. Pearson, that is 2001 edition. So these are the reference textbook I have mentioned here, which is prescribed in the syllabus. So you have to refer these reference textbook. Next, coming to this digital systems. Digital system, that is, you can see, students, here a particular logic circuit is there. See, a logic can be anything, a simple and, a simple or a simple not expression, whichever expression it can be. A particular logic network has a particular inputs, and depending on the logic, the outputs will be obtained. How do you analyze a problem? You have to analyze a problem depending on the inputs. Depending on the inputs, that is, type of input is applied to the logic circuit and what functionality it has inside it, which functionality it has. It may be, and as I've told you already, it may be a simple and, it may be a simple XOR, it may be a simple not function. Okay, so depending on the functionality or a logical expression on this, inside this logic circuit, we have a particular outputs obtained. So here we determine the binary output for particular combination of the inputs. Like for example, if it is a full adder, now for example, if it is full adder, then it has three inputs XYZ, that is XYZ input seen as a carry input, and next we have a sum and carry at the output, isn't it? So now if suppose we have an input 0 0 1, so what will be the sum and carry? 0 plus 0 plus 1, sum will be 1 and carry will be 0. Simple as such, isn't it? So it is a full adder, simple full adder sum. So what will be the carry? Carry will be 0 for particular combination of the inputs 0 0 1. Okay, so we determine the output depending on the expression which is in the internal of the logic circuit and also on the inputs. Okay, next, coming to the design problem. How do you design a problem? Given a task, develop a circuit and accomplish the task. Okay, so any task may be given, a traffic light controller, embedded system, or a ATM machine, anything. So any machine, any hardware machine, okay, any design problem given a task, you have to develop a circuit for that and see to it that it meets the appropriate output or exact output. Okay, it completes the task given in the problem statement. So given a problem statement, there may be many implementation, isn't it? There may be n number of ways to solve a problem. You can choose any one of the problem, any one of the solution to implement the task given. Okay, try to develop the best circuit based on some criteria. So what is the best criteria? I had told you, right? So what is the basically the title of the course is digital circuit design. What you do, you try to design a circuit on your own. On your own, you try to develop a circuit. So depending on what the criteria, what are the parameters you have to choose, you have to choose size, power, performance. Performance in the in the terms of time. What is the time required to execute this? Okay, what is the time required to execute this? That is nothing but the performance of the system. Okay, so given a design problem, you need to complete the task with the best possible way. That is it. Execution time should be less, power consumption should be less. Size means the number of gates what you require to implement a circuit should be less. So this is what you should understand. What you have to understand, you have to try to develop a skill which can implement the best circuit to the given problem definition. Okay, so this is about the analyzing the problem. Next, coming to this, describing circuit functionality. Okay, simple inverter I have taken here. A simple inverter. Inverter is having a input A, output Y. I have given here a truth table A and Y. Can you see this, students? If you apply input A 0 to the inverter, output will be 1. If you apply 1, the output will be 0. So this is a simple basic inverter, a NOT gate which inverts the input. What is the functionality of this? The functionality of this is nothing but to invert the given input. That is the functionality of a simple inverter. So what I am trying to tell is, the concept what I am trying to tell is, you have to try to focus on the functionality of what it is, what a circuit is having. Here I have considered a simple inverter because I want you guys to understand what is the functionality of this. It may be a simple AND gate, a simple OR gate, a XOR gate, whichever. You have to try to think on the functionality of the logic circuit given. Depending on the functionality of the logic circuit given, the truth table will be established. Okay, truth table will be established. And so basic logic functions have symbols. So this is a symbol for the inverter. Next, the same functionality can be represented with truth table. There is a truth table. Can you see here? It is a truth table of a inverter, and I hope you guys know what is an inverter. It is a 0. If you give provide 0, output is 1. If his input is 1, and then output will be 0. Okay, so that's what is explained here in the slide. Truth table completely specifies the output for all input given combinations. That is, for all input combinations we have the output, and that is what is mentioned in the truth table. Next, the above circuit is an inverter. That is, an input of 0 is inverted to a 1, and an input of a 1 is inverted to a 0. So this is about the functionality of some inverter. Next, coming to this, the OR gate. The symbol is given, everybody knows this is OR gate, right? What I want to tell here is this, so if either of the two input signals are asserted, okay, or both of them are, then the output will also be turned on. That is, basically, what is a truth table? It is there in your syllabus. What is your truth table? For all the input combinations, you have the output. So for this OR gate, 0 plus 0 0, 0 plus 1 1, 1 plus 0 1, 1 plus 1 is 1. So this is a simple OR gate. Similarly, we have a AND gate. So this is a symbol for the AND gate. Okay. So if both the inputs are 1, then only the output will be 1. Okay, like this only we have different kind of gates. I have mentioned here a inverter, a OR gate, and a AND gate. Okay, so similarly we have here NAND gate, NOR gates, and you know na, the NAND gate and NOR gates are a universal gates because any of the circuits can be constructed by this NAND, and any of the gates can be constructed by using NAND and NOR gates. Okay, so this is about the AND gate. Next, overview. So any logic network has a Boolean expression, relationship between the algebraic equations, symbols, and truth table. Okay, for a given truth table, you can write the expression and then write the logic network, or given a logic network, write the expression and then write the truth table. Both vice versa is possible. Okay, so next we have here simplification of Boolean expressions. That is min terms and max terms also we have to study. If in the further slides or in the further coming classes, we'll be talking about this. Okay, and then we have a and or representations. It's a two-level logic representation. Okay, so here in the syllabus we have POS, product of sum, and sum of product terms. That is SOP and POS. POS is nothing but product of sums. SOP is nothing but sum of products. Okay. Next, coming to the Boolean functions. Boolean algebra deals with binary variables and logic operations. Function results in binary 0 or 1. For anything, any input combinations, the output will be either 0 or 1. Now in this particular given truth table, for this you have to write the boolean expression and then draw the logic network. So guys, I have done this for you. Here there is a truth table, and then for this, see here now. So how do you represent this? 0 0 0 0 1 0 0 1 2 0 1 0. So similarly you represent this. So for 7, what you write? 1 1 1. As it is a 3 bit, 2 raised to 3. Okay, it is 8 possible combinations, 8 possible rows you will be having in the input side, and at the output side, f 100 you will be having 1. So you can see here, for this particular given truth table, you can see here 100 is having output 1, and next, so it will be x y bar z bar plus x y z bar plus x y z. Why? Because you can see here the 4100 is having 1 at the column f. Next 110 is having 1. Next 111 is having 1. So how to write a boolean expression for this? How we have to write? F is equal to f of x y z is equal to x y bar z bar plus x y z bar plus x y z. Then you have to reduce it. Okay, after reducing you get f is equal to x of y plus z bar. Now for this particular, after reducing you get this expression. Okay, try to reduce this we using the relative expressions, that is absorption law, inversion law. Okay, use that laws and try to reduce the expression. There are various properties also, you can use those and try to reduce the expression which we have studied in the earlier semester. Next, here how to implement this. Okay, see, x is ANDing with y plus z bar. First what you do, first you write y plus z. Okay, y plus z, but here it is y plus z bar. For first you have to have z bar. So to have a z bar we have a NOT gate here. Z is the input, z bar is the output. So now we can connect it to the one of the input to this OR gate. Next y is one of the input to this OR gate. So what we get at the output of the OR gate? We get y plus z bar. Next, this is a x. X ANDing with y plus z bar will give you the output f is equal to x ANDing y plus z bar. So this is what you have to try to do. So what we learned from this slide is, given a truth table, we can write the boolean expression and draw the logic network for the same. Okay. Next, boolean functions. So boolean algebra deals with binary variables and logic operations. Functions results in always binary 0 and 1. That is, for any input combination you have output 0 and 1. So similarly in the previous slide I have shown you, so wherever 1 it is, there you have to write, like here 1 it is x bar y z, here 1 x y z bar plus x y z. So depending wherever 1 it is, you choose those, try to reduce the expression. Okay, and we will try to learn how to transition between equation, symbols and truth table. So here try to write the expression for this particular given truth table, and we'll have a logic network here. Okay, so after reducing the expression we get g is equal to xy plus yz. For this we have drawn the logic network. Next, representation conversion. Need to transition between boolean expression, truth table and the circuits. Then converting between truth table and expression is easy. As I have told you, explained you already. Truth table, given a truth table we can write the expression, and also given an expression we can write the truth table vice versa. Next, converting between expression and circuit is easy. So I have given a flow chart here. You can see here it's a very simple. Given a circuit we can write a boolean expression and then write the truth table. Next, given a boolean expression we can write the truth table and also we can write the logic network. Or given a truth table we can also write the circuit and then expression. Okay, vice versa it is possible. Okay, that is what I want to tell here is, given a truth table write the expression, draw the circuit. Okay, or else Given a circuit, write the Boolean expression and then write the truth table. Vice versa, both also it is possible. Next, truth table to an expression. Converting a truth table to an expression. Given a truth table, you can write a expression. Okay. So can you see here the truth table written? Each row with the output of 1 becomes a product term. Some product terms together. I've written here any Boolean expression can be represented in sum of product terms. Okay, SOP stands for sum of products. Okay, now let me tell you this. Okay, it is written here. Try to see the G column, that is output column. Here 0 1 1, the output is 1. Next 1 1 0, the output is 1. 1 1 1, the output is 1. So let me try to write a expression for this particular truth table. So here you can see for the 7 it is XYZ. Here it is written XYZ plus XYZ bar. Here also it is written XYZ bar plus X bar YZ. So for this particular truth table, this will be the Boolean expression. Did you understand how did we write the expression? So wherever which in G column it is the output column. Basically it is the output column. Wherever 1 it is there, that particular row you have to consider X bar Y Z, X Y Z bar, X Y Z. Take a sum of these product terms. This will be the final SOP, that is sum of product Boolean expression. Next, coming to the equivalent representation of the circuits, all three formats are equivalent. That is, number of ones in the truth table output column, it is the output column, equals and terms for sum of product terms. Now, so earlier whatever we had done, this is also correct. This is also correct. So we have to draw the logic network for this, isn't it? Given a truth table, we have written an expression. For that expression, we have to draw a logic network. So here we have X, okay, and an inverter connected to the X. So output connected to the X. Input to the inverter is X. Output will be X bar. Y, output of the inverter will be Y bar. And next Z is connected as an input to the third inverter. Output of this will be Z bar. So for using these three inverters, we can have X also, X bar also, Y and Y bar, Z and Z bar. So G is equal to XYZ plus XYZ bar plus X bar YZ. So XYZ. So here what I will do, I'll take a X. Here you can see this. Then I'll take a Y. You can say this. Next I'll take a Z line from this. And then give a 3 input AND gate to this. Fine. Next similarly XYZ bar. X, Y, Z bar. I have taken these 3 lines, pulled it and then given as an input to this 3 input AND gate. Next comes the X bar. X bar, then Y, then Z. So I've pulled it as a wire and then connected to the 3 input AND gate. So now 3 terms are ready. Okay, product terms are ready. But in between we have a plus sign. For that we have to use a OR gate. So these output of the 3 AND gates are pulled together and a 3 input OR gate is given so that we get a final expression D. Fine. So this is how we have to construct a logic network. Given a truth table, write the Boolean expression and then draw the logic network. This is what all I want to tell you. Next, reducing the Boolean expressions. So in the slide it is there, you can see it. So is this the smallest possible implementation of this expression? Can you see this? No, it is not the smallest possible implementation. You have to try to reduce it using theorems, using distributive law, using postulate, and you can see here. Okay, see here. First step 1, use theorem 1, that is a plus a equal to a. You can write xyz plus xyz is equal to xyz only. So you can write 2 times this. Next, you can use distributive law. A of B plus C is AB plus AC. You can use this and you can write it like this. Okay, you can also use A plus A bar equal to 1. You can also use this. And lastly, using all these theorems, distributive laws and postulates, we have a reduced expression from 3 product terms to 2 product terms, that is xy plus yz. Okay, so you have to reduce the boolean expression in order to reduce the hardware implementation. So this particular slide tell us that we can how to reduce the given boolean expression using theorems. Next, reduced hardware implementation. So you can see here that after reducing the expression, the G expression, we have xy plus yz. Okay, so it is very easy to implement this now. See here we have x and y, and then we have y and z. Two input AND gates are used, whereas previously three input AND gates were used. Xy plus yz, because of the two product terms, we have a OR gate. We are using here a OR gate in order to have a SOP G. Okay, so you can compare now. I'll just go to the previous slide. You can compare here. Okay, here there are three input, three AND gates. Okay, and here there are two input, two AND gates. In this way, we can try to reduce the hardware implementation. Next, we have min terms and max terms. Each variable in a boolean expression is a literal. So x, y, z, whatever you have, x is a literal, y is a literal, and z is also a literal. Boolean variables can appear in normal or complement form. That is, normal is x is a normal form, that is uncomplemented form. X bar is a complemented form. So x can appear in x form or x bar form, either complemented way or uncomplemented way. Each and combination of term is a min term. Each or combination of terms is a max term. I have listed here few of the examples. For example, here see here it's a min term. Okay, so we have three literals here. X is a literal, y is a literal, and z is a literal. For 0 0 0, how do you represent it? X bar, y bar, z bar, and m naught. We say here the notation for this m naught. Next, 0 0 1, that is x bar, y bar, z, that is a min term 1. Similarly, 1 0 0, x, y bar, z bar, that is min term 4. Next, 1 1 1, that is x, y, z, that is notation is m7. So these are all min terms. Okay, these are our product terms. Min terms, they're also called product terms. Okay, next we have max terms, that is x, y, z, 0 0 0, x plus y plus z is a max term. 0 0 1, x plus y plus z bar, that is m1. You can see the difference here. We are using small letter m for min term. For max term, we are using capital M. 1 0 0, that is, here you can see 1 is represented as x bar. Okay, 0 is represented as y, and here 0 is represented as z. Okay, so how do you write this max term? X bar plus y plus z. Okay, and then 1 1 1, how do you write the max term for this 1 1 1? X bar plus y bar plus z bar, that is notation is capital M7. Okay, so here in max term, for 0 you write x. Okay, and for 1 you write x bar, whereas in min term, for 0 you write x bar. Okay, and for 1 you write x. So this is the difference between this min term and max term. Okay, x bar, y bar, z bar is a min term because all the literals are available in this. Okay, x is available, y is available, z is available. Next, x plus y plus z. This is a max term because all the literals are available in this. Okay, so here this I have listed few of the min terms here, and this one I have listed some few of the max terms. So I hope you got the what is the difference between the min terms and max terms. So next, representing functions with min terms. Min term number same as row position in truth table, starting from top from 0, that is 0 0 0, we have 0 here. Okay, so check for the 1 columns. G 0 1 1, it is 1. 1 1 0, it is 1. 1 1 1, it is 1. So here we have an expression. We have already written the expression G is equal to xyz plus xyz bar plus x bar yz. So what is this? So we have M7. What is this? 110. M6. What is this? 011. What is M3? So we can write like this. See here. 111. No. So XYZ means 111. So that is M7. Next XYZ bar 110. So that is 6. M7 plus M6 plus X bar YZ, that is 011. So it is 3. So we can write this as G is equal to M7 plus M6 plus M3 is equal to summation 367. Okay, so this is all. This in this way also we can write. Next, complementing functions. So here we have complementing functions. Wherever 0 was there, for G, wherever there was 0, we have written 1, and then wherever 1 was there, there we have written 0. So I just, can you find a simpler representation for this, students? Can you do it and tell me what is G? I have told you what is G. Okay, now you have to tell me what is G bar. Okay, you complement the expression, get the reduced expression, and then tell me. Fine. Next, find the complement of f, x bar z plus xy. Using this De Morgan's law, we can, whatever the plus sign, we can have and for this. Alright. Next, using De Morgan's again, we can have double bars for that. Okay. Break the sign. So break the bar and change the sign. De Morgan's law. Break the bar and change the sign. So we have here x double bar plus z bar. Okay, next y bar plus z bar. So reduction, eliminate double negation on the x. Here, eliminate the double negation x. So what it will be? X plus z bar into y bar plus z bar. What is this format called? This format is called product of sum terms. This is called product of sum terms. Next, we have conversion between the canonical forms. Easy to convert between min term and max term representation. It is very easy. For max term representation, select rows with 0. Right? For max term, you have to select the rows with 0. I have told you here, I have put an arrow mark. Here, this one you have to select, and this row 001, 010, 1100, and 101. So here, basically, this was earlier for this is for min term, that is sum of product term. This one we have written like earlier 3 6 7, that is this is 3, this is 6, and this is 7. So m3 m6 m7. Okay, so we can write summation 3 6 7. This is SOP. Now whichever are not there in this, those will be the max term. Very simple. So here for min terms we have summation. Okay, for max term we have notation as pi. We use this as pi. And for min terms usually we use small letter m, and for max term usually we use capital letter M. Okay, so whether 0 is present here? No. So it is present in the max term. Whether 1 is present? No. So it will be present. Whether 2 is present? No. So it is present in the max term. M3 is already there in SOP, so it is in SOP. Next, M4 is not there, so I have written here. M5 is not there. Whereas M6 and M7 are already there in the SOP. So how do we write it as like this? Pi of 0, 1, 2, 4, 5. Can you observe this? SOP is having 3, 6, 7, and max term is having the terms which are not there in the G term. Which are not there in this, those will be the terms in the max term. 0, 1, 2, 4, 5 is the representation for the max term. Okay, how do you represent 0? 0 0 0. So x plus y plus z. How do you represent 1? 0 0 1. So x plus y plus z bar. Next, representation of 2, x plus y bar plus z. Similarly, 4 and 5. Okay. So this is how we represent this minterm and maxterm. So this is a representation of the circuits. All logic expressions can be represented in two-level format. Circuits can be reduced to minimal two-level representation. Sum of product representation, most, that is sum of product representation. That means SOP. It is mostly used in the commonly used in the industries. So your sum of product term SOP and then or together. The product terms are generated and then or together or together using a OR gate, that is sum of products. Next, that is the here the sum terms are ANDed together, that is product of sums. So lastly, the summary, truth table, circuit and boolean expression formats are equivalent. They are easy to translate with the truth table, boolean expression and the logic network, and easy to convert SOP to POS and POS to SOP. Boolean algebra rules can be used to reduce the circuit while maintaining the function. All logic functions can be made from and or not. Easiest way to understand. How do we understand this SOP and POS? By practicing more examples. Okay. So next time we'll be talking about more about the logic gates, and we'll be trying to solve the maximum logic networks. So overview, what I want to tell is, here we studied about this max terms. Okay, we studied about the min terms also, and next we try to talk about min terms, max term, and how to try to group with this. Okay, so here, so basically this one I would like to stress on this. Min term 0 0 0 is x bar, y bar, z bar, m naught. Max term is, for max term 0 0 0, that is x plus y plus z, capital M naught. Please remember students, what is a min term? This I have indicated here. What is a max term? I have indicated here. Try to solve more and more examples, and try to get practiced with the logic expressions. Thank you.